Hello, I'm Pao, and in this video, I'm bringing you a very interesting case about a girl named Claire Miller, who at just 14 years old committed a horrible crime. This time, once again, we're going to be talking about a crime that is related to TikTok, of which there are many. If you want more videos related to TikTok, let me know, because apparently there are a lot of criminals on that app, and that's just awful. Claire Miller is currently 14 years old. She was born in Pennsylvania, United States, and lived with her family, which consisted of her parents and her older sister Helen, who was 19. Helen had cerebral palsy. Some of the symptoms are overly exaggerated physical reflexes, persistent muscle weakness or significant stiffness in the limbs, and uncontrollable involuntary movements. These symptoms usually appear in the very early formative years of childhood. So Helen was in a wheelchair and had been in it for many years. She couldn't move much. There isn't much information about Claire's life. She was in her first year of high school, and all that's known is what she posted on her TikTok account, where she made videos dancing and doing typical teenage things. Although there are also a couple of videos where she's lip-syncing to depressing audios, and another one that's kind of creepy. She's sitting on the floor in a strange position, and the audio is a song that says, love me, tell me that you love me," but the audio is kind of distorted. In these last ones, she doesn't seem very emotionally stable, but that's just speculation. We'll talk more about this topic later on. As I mentioned, there isn't much information about her life, but she had a couple of friends, and despite her sister Helen's condition, they seemed to be a happy family. Claire posted a video on her TikTok account, which is a compilation of her dad being very funny and doing silly and light-hearted things, so he seems to be a truly loving and fun-loving father. In fact, in one of her videos, you can catch a brief glimpse of Helen looking very happy and laughing. This was all the information I was able to find about Claire before she committed the crime, which happened in the early morning of Monday, February 22nd, 2021. Claire places a call to 911 and proceeds to inform the police that she has just attacked her older sister, Helen. When the authorities arrive at the Miller family home, they discover the 14-year-old teenager waiting outside. She was cleaning the blood off her hands with the fresh snow, which she found right outside her house. The officers also noted in their report that she had visible bloodstains on her pants. Afterwards, Claire began to say over and over again, "I stabbed my sister." The officers entered the house along with Claire, who pointed out which was Helen's room. And when they stepped into the bedroom, they found her lying there unconscious. Helen's face was covered with a pillow, which had large, horrifying bloodstains. And when they carefully removed it, they saw that a knife was still deeply embedded in her throat. In addition, she had several cuts on her chest. The parents were in the house, but they were asleep. They didn't hear anything that was happening. Apparently, Claire took this heavy pillow and pressed it firmly over Helen's face so she couldn't scream out or make any noise at all. Consequently, her parents had absolutely no idea that this had happened until they finally woke up because of the loud noise made by the police and learned about this terrible tragedy. The ambulance arrived very quickly and immediately took Helen to the nearby hospital. Even though the doctors did absolutely everything they possibly could, her injuries were exceptionally severe. And unfortunately, Helen peacefully passed away at 4:13 a.m. Claire was eventually arrested, and in her official mugshot you can clearly see some visible scratches on her neck, which were most likely caused by Helen as she desperately tried to defend herself. But because of her severe illness, she was really at a very great disadvantage and simply couldn't defend herself effectively, since she had a significant problem with her physical mobility. It's a very tragic case, extremely sad, and I can't imagine the pain of parents losing one daughter at the hands of their other daughter. What is still unknown is the motive why she did this. The case went viral when her TikTok account was discovered. Before the case, she had around 800 followers, and afterwards, she reached 40,000 in less than a week. By the way, the case happened on Monday, and by Friday, TikTok had already deleted her account due to violence. People started to speculate, and there are different theories, but none of this has been confirmed. They are just speculations. The first theory is that she did it because she wanted fame and attention. We can only hope that's not the case, but there are a significant number of individuals who end up doing very risky things and engaging in criminal activities, just to go viral on some social media network. There are people who are capable of committing truly horrible and heinous crimes just for attention and fame. Another theory is that she has mental health issues. She has been accused of being a psychopath, with many people saying it seems like she fakes her emotions, that her gaze appears empty, while others believe she has another form of mental illness. As I mentioned at the very beginning, Claire does not seem to be a stable person at all. In some of her videos, she looks quite sad. It would seem as if she had depression, but I am not in a position to diagnose her, and we will have to wait for a psychologist's diagnosis to see if she really had mental health issues or not. And the last theory, which to me is the most convincing, is that Claire was jealous of her sister Helen. Because of the condition she was in, it's possible that she was the one who received the most attention from their parents. It is understandable that she had specific special needs, which is why she required significantly more attention. Although it's very common for siblings of people with disabilities or mental health issues to feel that their parents are neglectful toward them because they give more attention to their other siblings. There are several studies about this, but maybe you've noticed it in movies or TV series. Some notable examples include Wonder or Atypical, which yes are works of fiction, but they serve as accurate examples, although I repeat, this remains purely a theoretical perspective. Claire still hasn't given her full statement, and the authorities are currently working hard to determine the motive. Despite Claire's young age, being just 14 years old, the authorities have decided that she will be tried as an adult due to the extreme seriousness of the case. And since her victim was her own sister and also a person living with a disability, the final sentence could be exceptionally and remarkably severe. She is currently being held in the local county jail facility, where she will continue to be held until her trial. The first hearing will be on March 30th. Let's hope that at trial she receives a fair sentence for the very serious crime she committed. And that's all the information about Claire's case. I just wanted to mention one last thing, and it's about a TikTok that's going viral, where you can see a stuffed animal, a giraffe with red spots, and it's in the snow. I'm not going to show it to you because it's really creepy and seems to be very graphic. When I saw it, it scared me, so I want to spare you that, but if you want to see it, I'll leave it in the description below. I'm still going to narrate what happens in this TikTok because people are saying that Claire uploaded this video. You can also see a latex glove, also with red stains. Many people across the internet were widely speculating that those red stains were actually human blood and that Claire had posted it before calling emergency services. However, this turned out to be completely and utterly false. The red stains are actually just food coloring, and the account does not belong to Claire at all. It was made by an entirely different individual pretending to be her, which I personally found to be quite annoying. It is honestly so insensitive, and I am genuinely shocked and surprised by what some people today are willing to do just to get views and attention on various social media platforms. I just wanted to mention it because there are still people saying that Claire did make this video, but in reality she didn't. And that was all the information about this video. I hope you liked it. Lately, I've been covering cases like this one, which don't have a verdict and aren't my favorites to do, so I'm sorry if you don't like them either. I'll be going back to cases that are complete and have already been sentenced,